Oh, hey, gang. It's Kevin Strange here, straight up out of quarantine. Get my hat, please. Thanks. And what do I got for you today, man? We just did a whole graphic novel piece while in lockdown, man. The whole year we've been working on a brand new fucking comic book piece called Cockhammer Lives, the graphic novel. 152 pages of color, uncut, uncensored insanity. Cockhammer Lives, the graphic novel, all about that Indiegogo piece from now to April 20th, 2021. That's right, Smoke Weed Day. And as a bonus, we got stretch goal goodies. If we hit that little $500 goal, we get these black and white mini comics set in the Strangeville universe that come free with your graphic novel. Jump in now, gang. You don't want to miss out on this epic Strangeville event.
All right. Excuse me. All right. What's up, gang? Kevin Strange up in your motherfucking video screens, all up on the YouTubes. I'm going to hide my passcode here. And we're going to do some drawing tonight. If you guys have been following along this week, you know I am behind the 8 ball, so to speak, trying desperately to finish up work on my new black and white mini comic, Nixon and Hogan Hate Comics. And we're still in pretty bad shape, gang. If you were with us for the last show, you were thinking maybe I'd pulled another miracle out and managed to draw 20 fucking pages in one day. The answer, well, you would be disappointed because I am working on page number 10 right now. I'm trying to keep my hand out of the way for you guys. It's very difficult to keep my stupid hand out of the way of this shot so you guys can actually watch me draw and not just watch the back of my fucking big ass hand the entire time we chit chat. So here's the long and short of it is I'm on page 10. I got 7 more pages to go. I have to have this comic completely finished by Friday night at the latest, and sent off to the printer if I have any hope of getting this thing sent to me next week in time for me to take copies of Nixon and Hogan Hate Comics up to Chicago to the Days of the Dead horror convention. That's the plan. That's what I'm trying to accomplish. And these pages they're not coming fast enough. It's just the long and the short of it is I don't know what my deal is with this particular comic. Some of them go fast, some of them don't. This is not a particularly difficult comic to draw, so I'm not exactly sure what is holding me back. Maybe just the pressure of knowing I basically had 2 weeks to do a 17-page comic book plus cover, and I have not been able to pull that off in the kind of time I need to be able to. This is my, I believe we're working on my 4th page, and there were days with the Christmas comic, Sarsaparilla and Rocco and Sarsaparilla's Sickmas Time story, that I was able to get like 7 pages inked in a day, and I'm sitting here struggling with my my 4th page, and these are not particularly difficult pages, so I'm not sure what the blockage is here, other than, like I said, the stress that I'm putting on myself, the pressure I'm putting on myself to try to finish this project up and have it ready. And at this point, it's Tuesday. We got old Jeremy Maddox up in this piece. What's going on, brother? Nice to see you. I'm fucking myself here with comics. How you doing? What I really need to be focused on is just getting this this comic done in time to mail out with the rest of the Cockhammer Lives the graphic novel campaign, because this is going to be the $1,200 stretch goal, and that's all that's really important. Whether I take it to a single convention or not important in the scheme of things. In the long term, I won't even remember when I made this. It's just going to be another in a long stream of comic book projects when it all shakes out. For example, I can't at this point remember how many pages I did in any particular day of that Christmas comic. I just did them all, and now the Christmas comic's long done, and I don't have to worry about that stuff anymore. I don't remember which pages I did on any particular day, which pages were harder to work on than others. But I got it done in time for Christmas, because that's my it's one of the things that keeps me passionate about my art, gang, is just making even ridiculous goals for myself, even goals that are unrealistic and impossible. I still try. I still have to try hard to achieve these things, to unlock these achievements, because that's part of what keeps it exciting. I've been doing this for over 15 years. This is God knows how many creative projects I've done, or what number this particular book that we're working on together right now is. I don't know how many fucking creative projects I've indulged in. I've been fortunate enough and blessed enough, privileged enough to indulge in over the years, but it's a hell of a lot. And in order to keep myself motivated and inspired, I give myself little challenges like this. Can you make a comic book in just 2 weeks? In this case, I think the answer is going to be no, but that's okay. Like I said, as long as I get it done in time to use it as a stretch goal for the campaign, then it's still cool. Then you guys still get hooked up with a new comic. And that'll actually be like, it's ridiculous, like 75 pages of black and white comics that are going to come along with the 150-page Cockhammer Lives graphic novel. It's ridiculous. I'm giving you guys 75 free pages of comics? Ridiculous. But that's what we do, I aim to over-deliver. That's what I'm here to do. You still hanging out there, Jeremy? You just lurking? Got anything to say? Anything to add? How you been doing? How are things over in your neck of the woods? Your little piece of the world, sir? All right. We're knocking out this page. Oh, here we go. Saw Kong versus Godzilla. I'm going to stop reading there because I haven't seen it yet. And you like to spoil things, so give me a day. I'm going to watch that. Going to watch Kong versus Godzilla tomorrow. I got the HBO Max app to watch the Snyder cut of Justice League, and I have it for a whole month. So I also get to watch Kong versus Godzilla as part of the month subscription that I bought. So I'll check that out tomorrow, and then if you want to talk about if you want to be a big stick in the mud and talk about how you don't like giant monsters beating the crap out of each other, you go right ahead. Go right ahead, sir. But before you spoil it for me, I'm going to go ahead and go watch it myself in the luxury of my living room. I did not. I was not super impressed with either of the Godzilla films, and I thought that the Kong Skull Island flick was pretty good. I think I liked the Peter Jackson version better. Well, here's my take on it. I think the Skull Island and the monsters on Skull Island were better in the Peter Jackson version. I think that Kong himself was much better in the Skull Island version. I think that Andy Serkis trying to play King Kong, Andy Serkis, the guy who played Gollum in the Lord of the Rings movies and believes himself to be the best motion capture actor in the world, is often full of his own shit and tried to play King Kong way too much like a fucking monkey and not enough like a guy in a fucking gorilla suit beating up stuff, which is what which is what we want out of these giant monster movies. These giant monsters are not supposed to be realistic. They're supposed to be men in monster suits beating the crap out of each other and throwing little models around that are supposed to vaguely unrealistically look like cities and cars and tanks and things like that. That's what we want, and the American kaiju films rarely give us that. But I thought that the we got another viewer here. We got Mando Artisan in here saying hello. Well, hello. He says, wow, what a great art piece. I don't know about all that. Anyway, I think that Andy Serkis screwed the pooch on his performance as King Kong. I think that they got it right with Skull Island. They got him walking around upright like a dude in a fucking gorilla suit, beating the crap out of monsters, and I think that is that. So I'm excited for King Kong versus Godzilla because I hope that they continue to do the same thing, and they have Godzilla and King Kong stomping around, throwing boats at each other and shit. I think that'll be cool. That's none of them are as good as the Japanese kaiju films. They're just not. The American kaiju films just aren't that good. But let's see what else Jeremy has to say here. Dad came home today from the hospital. Good so far, but his walking isn't the strongest. I'm happy to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that he's been there this long. That's a bummer, but hopefully things are looking up for you guys, and hopefully he has many good years of health left in him, and you guys can enjoy a lot more years together. What does he say here? I came here to kiss ass and spoil fiction stories. I'm all out of ass. Yeah, that's good. He says, yeah, I subscribed to HBO Max too, but I couldn't wait on their slow asses, so I watched a fan cam. So your review of the movie comes from watching it on a shitty cam fan. So you still losing me. You might as well have came here and said you watched Emergency Awesome's review of it, and you agree with him that it's a crappy film because he says so. You know me, I like to give you a hard time about your movie opinions. What do we got here? Kong Skull Island was epic. The Kong is way bigger than Jackson's Kong. I like the wildlife of Jackson's Skull Island, but the Skullwalkers eclipse all of Jackson's creature effects. I agree with all that. Mondo Artisan says, well, better than what I can ever do with comic art. Well, I don't know about that. It's all about practice. I can't even with a straight face call this good art, but I wasn't capable of even this level of cartooning even 2 years ago, and I just keep at it every single day. I think there's an interesting David Bowie clip out there. If you go look for it, it's like David Bowie on Everyone Isn't, like Google like or do a YouTube search for like David Bowie, everyone's an artist. And David Bowie kind of really puts it was an interview, in the 70s or 80s, and he really kind of put the brakes on this idea that artists are special snowflakes, and that art is comes from some supernatural place and only the gifted are allowed to do it. He basically said that that's and again, you can look this up, I'm paraphrasing, but you can look this up. He basically says that attitude, the attitude that art is relegated to a few special boys that have magic in their fingertips or whatever. He says that that's perpetuated by the industry itself in order to create value for entertainment, and that anyone, literally all of us, have creative abilities locked inside of us, and it's just a matter of practice and repetition. We are all capable of any sort of art if we're willing to take the time to study the basic principles of art, music, painting, illustrating, cartooning, like what I do here. If we take the time to learn the discipline of that particular art style, that we can be just as special boys as any of the popular artists. And I like that. I like that sentiment because I've always been an everyman artist. I've always believed that there's nothing special about this. There's nothing special about me. I'm a very, very prolific writer. I write story after story after story, and I just do it. There's nothing special about me. I'm not a special boy. I'm no kind of a special boy. I'm a blue collar kid from the Midwest, and I just through tenacity taught myself everything I know about every art discipline that I've taught myself, from filmmaking to novel writing to what I'm doing here, cartooning. It's just a matter of putting that discipline down and learning from the greats, learning from the best. I like to learn from mentors. I like to meet. I like to figure out who's the best, who's the most talented, prolific weirdo in whatever field I'm obsessed with at the moment, and I befriend them and I talk to them and I ask them questions and I learn their methodologies and I learn what makes them tick, and then I take I take their advice and I incorporate it into my own styles. What do we got here? Mando says, I absolutely agree. And he says, we're just our hardest critic. Yeah, you're right. And as well we should be, as well we should be. I don't know if I've got the angle right on here, if you guys can even see what I'm doing right now. I'm drawing the wood paneling in the background of Kevin Strange's cabin here. This is Nixon and Hogan Hate Comics is the name of this comic book, and it's very meta. Nixon and Hogan go they realize, they get so high they realize that they're comic book characters, and they're pissed off at how they're drawn, and so they go out to Kevin Strange's cabin in the woods where he's secluded, lives a life of solitude, of isolation, where he cranks out these comics, and they threaten to kill him if he doesn't take them out of the comics, and then he spends the rest of the comic book trying to convince Nixon and Hogan that the comic book medium that they're perfect for the comic book medium, and that he should be able to keep drawing them, and tries to win over their skepticism of his switch to switch from fiction and filmmaking to drawing comics. So it's kind of a meta story, but it'll be a good one to use as a giveaway at live shows. So we are hanging out right now in Kevin Strange's secluded cabin in the woods, and Nixon and Hogan are yell. Oh, they just finished yelling at him, and now he's starting his rant. That's what's going on here. Jeremy, if you're still listening, did you watch the Snyder Cut? What'd you think of that? We are smashing through this page. This is page 10 of 17. And this is one of the last, I think I've got one or two more talking head pages, and then we get into some big, crazy splash pages. And those will be real fun to draw. They're going to take me forever, though. That's why I don't think I've got all day tomorrow. I've got tomorrow off of the day job, so I'm planning on spending all day and all night tomorrow night, also cranking away at this thing. I just don't know that I can, because once I finish each individual page, I have to letter everything, which lettering 17 pages isn't going to take a lot of time. It'll take a day or two. Then I have to do all the finishes, but that takes a day or two also. So let's say each of those processes takes 2 days. That's 4 days. It's Tuesday. We're talking Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're talking about, at best, I'm looking at Saturday to be done with this comic. And that's if I just murder myself at this writing table and do nothing else but eat, sleep, shit, and draw comics, which honestly is what I like to do anyway. But I just don't know if I can get it done. We'll see. Mando says, I usually tend to appreciate the art. I can't do a bit more because it gives me the opportunity to learn about different art methods and art inspirations behind each artist. I totally agree with that. That's I do that with musicians a lot. I don't do music, so I find I'll watch biographies and things on musicians and learn about especially prolific musicians and things like that that just have an insane output, where their creativity comes from, where their drive comes from, why they work so hard, those kinds of things. But I do the same thing with with comic book artists, with novelists, with filmmakers. I mean, I just love art. I'm obsessed with telling stories. Period. It's what I love to do. It's my purpose and passion in life. And if I had to pay to do it, I would pay top dollar to do it. And I'm blessed that I actually get paid, to do this. I'm gonna pull up the campaign again here in a second and talk about Cockhammer Lives, the graphic novel. But we've already surpassed all the costs on the campaign. So I'm at this point, every sale we have is a profit. It goes towards profit, which is amazing to me, that I get to tell the stories I want exactly the way that I want to, and I actually get to make a little bit of money in the process. It's literally a dream come true for me to be able to say that and to do that. And yeah, I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. This is my life, and this is my life's work. And I love every second of it. The good times and the bad, the hard times and the good times. I take it all in. It's all an experience. It's all part of the journey. Mando says, I love storytelling. I try to make sure that I tell a story with every piece I do. So I absolutely agree with you. What kind of art do you make? Are you a musician or? Jeremy, if you're still around, I asked if you watched the Snyder Cut. I wanted to get your opinion on that. What you thought of the Snyder Cut? Here we go. We're cranking on this page, gang. We're on fire over here. Mando says, I work on original character illustrations mostly. That's cool. I enjoy creating bizarre, creepy characters. Awesome. Awesome. I went to a little bit of well, I took some art class. I can't say I went to art school a little bit because that's not true, but I went to I took some art classes at a local community college here, and I met a pair of twin girls who were super into character design and planned on actually getting into the video game industry as character designers. And boy, they were talented. And they were only 18 years old, and they were I was like I don't know, 37 or something when I was in the class with them, and they blew me away. But I love meeting people like that are young and have all that vitality and creativity and excitement inside of them. Life hasn't beat them up and destroyed their passion yet. And they're cool girls, and I hope today that they have made it into the video game world as character designers. Jeremy says, I did watch the Snyder Cut. I thought it was too ambitious for one movie. I mean, I guess that's true. Unfocused, a huge mess. I watched it a few times because I love messes. They give me something to puzzle over. Why they ever thought Steppenwolf was a better villain to go with than Darkseid was dumb. Ultimately, though, I thought the Snyder Cut was sloppy, unfocused, and downright schizophrenic at times. Have you seen it? So I'm not spoiling anything if I'm referencing something. Yes, I have seen it. Do you want to jump on? Do you want to jump on here and talk about it? You want to get on cam and talk about it instead of going through text? We can have a nice conversation about it if you want. I don't mind. Mando says, I agree with you. I took a couple of community college art courses as well, and met some pretty good, talented artists. Yeah, it's interesting how many really, really talented people go through the community college system. Just because you don't have money doesn't mean you don't have a lot of talent. Are you streaming on Twitch as well? No, just YouTube right now. I do Facebook streams at facebook.com/Kevin the Strange, and I do YouTube streams, although I should start doing this on Twitch. I'm just not a gamer, so I avoid Twitch. The Twitch audience is not going to get anything game related out of me. So now I'm getting a phone call. I bet that's Jeremy Maddox right there. Hold on, I'll be back. Nope. Not Jeremy. Okay. I know that you can use Twitch and it doesn't have to have anything to do with games at all. And I should get on there and start building an audience on there. I get complacent in my social media, I guess. Jeremy says, I could, but I'm in the process of installing a new computer mic, so it may or may not work. Hang on. I'll throw the link in, and then you can come come in at your leisure. There's a link, Jeremy, in the comments or in the chat. There's nothing better than meeting other artists as passionate as we are. You're right about that, man. That I just like passionate people in general. I mean, they don't even have to be artists. I'm drawn to energetic, creative, passionate people, no matter what their passion is. People's passion rubs off on me, and those are the kind of people that I like to spend my time with. That Mando says it encourages growth as an artist and a creative mind, but overall it encourages growth as a person. Too true. Too true. Very right about that. There's always something to learn and always someone new to learn it from. That's for sure. All right. Just about done with this page here. Yeah, I'm using StreamYard. You should have the. There he is. There he is. People's passion. What's up, buddy?
Am I actually in here?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought. Okay, yeah, that's right. You add me. Yeah, I'm used to having that responsibility. And okay, anyway, so what were we gonna talk about? The Snyder Cut.
Sure. I mean, we talk about whatever you want. It's been a while. How you been?
Fucking, well, I mean, you know, the shit with the hospital and all that bullshit. And now the cats want to join in like always. And okay, so Joker and Martian Manhunter thrown in at the very end.
Yeah.
That just seemed so like undisciplined and I mean we're not gonna, as of right now, we're not going to be seeing any more from the Snyderverse. So it was really like a last ditch effort to give Jared Leto a payday on his Joker that he never got to realize allegedly, and also to the Martian Manhunter thrown in after that, even when I mean it was too much.
I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong about this, but I do believe. Hang on. What do you find most difficult when working on an art project? Mando asks. What is the most difficult? In a general sense, the most difficult thing is taking my original concept, which is when you've got an idea in your head, it's perfect in every way. There are no flaws in your initial concept. So the hardest part about creating an art project is all those compromises you have to make from the initial idea to the finished project, is trying to keep it as true to your original vision as possible while still accepting that there have to be compromises. I would say that's the most challenging part. The idea is perfectly formed in your head, and then everything you do after that is a series of compromises trying to maintain as much of your original vision as possible. And Zack Snyder, Jeremy, tried to do the same with his Snyder Cut. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that Martian Manhunter bizarre cameo was supposed to be Green Lantern, and the studio told him, under no circumstances are you putting Green Lantern in this movie, take him out. And so he put Martian Manhunter in his place. Is that true or not true?
I don't know.
That to be true.
I saw a scene of Ryan Reynolds talking to Bruce Wayne on his patio or whatever you want to call it, and it looked fan-made to me. I don't know. When filmmakers start using Zoom to film scenes because they're afraid of the sniffles, I mean, that's kind of bullshit.
I mean, he definitely wouldn't do that. He wouldn't have done that.
No, he did film some stuff through Zoom with the actors. I mean, for the Snyder Cut, that's a thing.
Well, it didn't go in the movie.
Well, actually, little minute things he did get the actors to do over Zoom for him to catch for the to he extra things he had to film for the movie, like Wonder Woman walking into that destroyed floor in the underground, Wayne chamber or whatever, where the Nightcrawler machine they wake up,
Yeah.
that just to get Wonder Woman to walk in and look around in her outfit, they actually had to get her to do that over Zoom.
How is that possible?
I don't know. That's just what he said.
That's filmed in high definition. I mean, that's a movie scene.
Post editing. Also, Ezra Miller as Flash.
But hear me out. Someone has to be there with a camera filming her.
Really, but now we're in everybody's a pussy for COVID.
I get that that's what you want this to be, but explain to me how they used Zoom. Someone had to be there to film her. Why would they use Zoom, a Zoom app, instead of just filming her with the camera? That doesn't make any sense.
Post editing, I guess.
No. I'm saying they had to be there. Someone had to be there with a camera to film her, right?
You want me to pull up the link where he says it?
I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I don't understand. I'm not accusing you of not. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't understand.
You're nonplussed or shocked. Maybe
I don't understand what that Zoom
as a filmmaker yourself. You probably see it for the hack bullshit it is. No reference to hack movies there.
Well, no, that's why I called it that.
Yeah,
because I'm a hack motherfucker. I'm a talentless hack. Boldly proud to say that.
Let's see. Screen Rant, Justice League. Zack Snyder directed Justice League's Martian Manhunter scene over Zoom.
Okay, so if he directed it over Zoom, then that means that they sent a film crew to film those actors even against a green screen. Like they filmed it with filmmaking equipment.
Okay.
Zack himself was on a Zoom call and like, yeah, looks good. Looks good. Who played? I don't even know who played Martian Manhunter.
Gosh,
looks good, man.
I don't know if he's the guy from the CW, stuff, because I know that there was a Martian Manhunter there. But I mean, I'm pretty sure it is the same guy, and he plays a guy like a military veteran guy that guards people like Luther in an asylum.
But that makes sense. That what you're saying is that they did a lot of they didn't have a whole crew on set to film some of the extra stuff. He just hung out on Zoom and had somebody walk him around as a laptop instead of being there in person.
I did. Yeah.
You know how I feel about COVID, so I mean, I think it's bullshit too. But
yeah. Well, I do think that people are dying from it. Maybe it's been mislabeled. I don't know, but am I coming in okay?
Yeah.
Because they're not shit over here to try to.
No, it's all good. I think it's hilarious that your cats are.
Yeah, that happens
all over you
on my show too. They take over. And, yeah.
Here's a question to ponder, and we can go. I mean, I can give you my 2 cents on the Snyderverse if you want me to, but here's my question. Here's a big question I have after watching the movie, because you said let's go back to your comments about the Jared Leto scene, for example. They spent, my understanding is they spent $70 million in additional funding to finish that film, including filming brand new scenes, like the scenes with Martian Manhunter and the scenes with Jared Leto. That scene in the nightmare sequence at the end with Jared Leto wasn't filmed and not used. They filmed it for this Snyder cut, is my understanding.
Okay, so you're saying that $70 million was spent disregarding the budget that they had for the movie they were making before. $70 million just to make this cut.
Right.
Okay.
70 million to restore the Snyder Cut, including shooting brand new scenes for it. I got to move my camera for a second so I don't dox shit on my iPad here. I got to pull up another page, and I don't want to. There's nothing to see, but you got to, can't ever be too careful.
Mm-hmm.
So give me just 1 second here. I got to pull up another page. I got it. We're good. So tell me. So explain this to me. That whole nightmare sequence is about 7 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of brand new footage added to the end of the film as a lead-in to whatever the next Justice League movie was going to be. Why would Warner Brothers give Zack Snyder $70 million to film the first part of what's clearly a multi-part film and film it like that? Like, those ending sequences of the movie are cliffhangers to lead us into the next film.
Batman and Joker in a reluctant alliance,
along with what is his name, Deathstroke, and who else is still alive?
Cyborg, played by Amber Turd.
Yes.
And and Cyborg, because Aquaman is dead.
Isn't Flash there too in like a mech suit?
Flash is there. Okay. So yeah, and those are the ones that are left. And then there's evil Superman, who has found him because he's in league with Darkseid and his minions.
But because of Lois Lane's death. And my understanding is, again, if I'm wrong about any of this, you can tell me. My understanding is that is the majority of the next film. The majority of the next film takes place in Zack Snyder's nightmare world, where all that has happened. Because when they have Flash, remember when Flash is in Superman's ship and he's getting ready to run and start up the mother box, and the ship tells him, if you do this, there's no going back. There's no way to reverse this. If you bring Superman back to life, there's no way to revert. Like, once you do it, there's no going back.
Yeah.
And then they brought him back to life, but Superman fucking killed everybody when Lois Lane died. So it's like this paradox where they want to send, in the Nightmare movie, they want to send Flash back to that point in Justice League where they reanimated Superman and not do it, would be my guess. You know what I'm saying? They got to send Flash back to stop that from happening so that everybody doesn't die and end up in that dystopian hell world.
So in other words, yeah. But I would hope that the whole Batman Joker uneasy alliance thing would happen still.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The majority of the film would take place in that reality, and the whole goal is to try to get Flash past Superman so they can send him back in time. Like, that would be
that's what Snyder said, that they would he would be going back in time, and that timeline would dissolve based on what he does. Yeah.
Right. So tell me this again. Why would Warner Brothers give him $70 million to set that up and then be like, but he's not going to do anymore? But he doesn't get to do anymore. No, we gave him $70 million to set up his sequel, and now we're not going to let him do it. I think they have had this planned since when they greenlit the Snyder Cut and the $70 million. I think they did so with an eye toward letting him continue and make a second Justice League movie. That's my guess. They won't say it publicly, but that's my guess.
Well, they've been awfully antagonistic towards the people who are now saying #restore the Snyderverse.
So one of the things I had someone say to me was, there's no way Ray Fisher, after the way he was treated on set working with Warner Brothers and working with Joss Whedon, that there's no way he would come back as Cyborg to do it. Like, his working relationship with Warner Brothers is over. Well, if you look at Ray Fisher's Twitter right now, it's a picture of him as Cyborg, and #restore the Snyderverse he's retweeting it. So Ray Fisher's on board.
You know how Release the Snyder Cut got started, right? It was the actors, Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, and Jason Momoa, and a bunch of the others started sending. It feels the whole thing was manufactured to me, but a lot of people are saying that, and maybe there's actually been a statement actually officially made that whoever's in charge of Warner Brothers, some broad is saying no, they're toxic fan base, and we won't negotiate with their demands, or we won't cave again. This is a one-time thing, and all saying horrible.
After they gave him $70 million so he could write a cliffhanger ending to his movie. I think it's all a work, brother. I think they're working us.
I definitely think it was manufactured. Yeah.
I think the whole thing is manufactured. Like, I think that, of course, they're going to say, no way, we're not going to let Zack do this, because the fans are giving him free publicity. If they spend another 2 years with the fans going crazy all over social media saying, restore the Snyderverse, that's free advertising.
I think they should. Just because it gives people something to talk about when they're bored and they have cabin fever. People are dying. What they're dying of can be debated, but I mean, things are bleak, and whatever sword you want to fall on, regardless, it's bleak, and people are creating their own hell, their own prisons. For one reason or another, and so I think that they should just shut the hell up, fork over the money. Snyder knows enough about what he's doing, even though I think that movie is a mess as it stands right now. That 4 hour. See, you put it in the hands of the Russo brothers, who did Avengers: Infinity War and Endgame, and I can't find a single problem with anything in Infinity War anyway. There is a logical gap in at the end of Endgame. Like, why is Peter Parker, going back to high school, and all his classmates are still there after 5-6 years?
Thinking too much, man. Thinking too much.
That's the one thing that's the
guy that got bit by a radioactive spider, bro. You accept that, but you don't accept the fucking time travel. He got bit by a radioactive spider, bro. You know what being bit by a radioactive spider would do to you? It would kill you.
Yeah,
you would get cancer and you would die.
In Marvel, radioactive shit, it makes you turn into a giant green thing, and it makes you, do gymnastics all over buildings. It's awesome. The physics of Spider-Man, the way it comes alive in movies, is so much more exciting than just seeing him web slinging a comic. I never realized that, but now that I've watched every incarnation of Spider-Man from the last several years, I never realized, just how insane the physics are of him bouncing from one building to another, and especially when he gets into fights and things are falling down around him. I mean, it's insane the way the reaction time and the just the know-how as
I really, really like these Marvel Spider-Man movies. They come off like really goofy. Did you send me something in the private chat?
No.
That's
the Screen Rant link.
I got you.
Martian Manhunter scene being filmed by Zoom. That's all. Yeah.
I got you. Those Spider-Man movies, they come off to me like goofy Disney Channel movies.
Yeah.
But that just works for Spider-Man for some reason. I found that the most enjoyment I get out of, because there's a superhero movie every other fucking week. So the market is so saturated with fucking superhero bullshit that it's easy to get lost in all of it. But I seem to find that the goofier they are, the more I like them. Like, I really like the stupid ass Ant-Man movies. They just make me laugh like an idiot the whole time I'm watching them, because everybody in those movies is such a dork, and they're always doing such stupid shit in those movies. And I think the same thing is true with the Spider-Man movies. They're so dorky. Those Spider-Man movies are so silly, and I like them. I think that's I don't know. It sits well with me. I really liked the last Thor movie. I like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I really think those are the ones that work the best for me, are just silly and goofy.
I love the last two Avengers movies and how
Yeah,
all
good.
these characters are just. I mean, it's insane how they were able to, plan it.
Like you said, the Russo brothers they're great. Their Winter Soldier movie that's a motherfucker of a movie right there. That's one of the best.
The sequel to Captain America?
Yeah, Captain America: Winter Soldier. That movie's fucking crazy.
I've never seen it.
Oh, it's so good. It's the Russo brothers. That was their first Marvel movie.
No, wait a minute. The one during World War II, I did see that one.
It's not World War II.
Okay.
That was the first one. That was Captain America. What do they call it? The First Avenger.
So you're talking about the one where he woke up from
Winter Soldier.
Okay.
It's set in the modern day. That's where it turns out that S.H.I.E.L.D. is run by Hydra, and they turn on Captain America. S.H.I.E.L.D. turns on Captain America.
Never seen it to this day, but I need.
And they use Bucky. They wake up the Winter Soldier. They use Bucky as the villain. He's trying to kick Captain America's ass to the whole thing. That is a good fucking flick, man.
I'm guessing that's where he lost his arm. So I didn't have all that.
He already had his arm was already gone.
Okay, that was so long. I've forgotten something somewhere. But Spider-Man, the best Spider-Man to me. Well, why am I feedbacking? Is there a reason I'm?
I don't hear any feedback.
Well, anyway, I think that now that I've caught up on the Spider-Man movies, though, I do think that Andrew Garfield was the best Spider-Man from this era.
Ooh, you think so?
Yeah, who do you think?
Well, here's the thing. Andrew Garfield he was serviceable as Spider-Man, but he fucking sucked as Peter Parker. I think this kid, Tom Holland, I think he's that's his name, right? Tom Holland?
Yeah.
I think he's great. I think he's a good balance of goofy Spider-Man and awkward Peter Parker. Because I think that Tobey Maguire was a great awkward Peter Parker, but a real crappy Spider-Man. He didn't have the charisma to do Spider-Man.
Well, the directors also, and it takes a team to do it right. But I go back and I watch the Tobey Maguire movies, and everything about him just makes me cringe. Especially part 3 when he thinks he's all now because he's got the symbiote suit and he's doing all this stupid ass beach
3 is terrible
and shit, and all the women are repulsed by him, and he's still like sticking his finger out everywhere like he's doing this Bee Gees.
Oh, it's terrible.
Oh God, I want to smack him myself. And
that's Sam Raimi being an ass. That's Sam Raimi didn't want to make the movie.
See, Sam Raimi, when I look at his Spider-Man movies, I don't know if it's Tobey Maguire or Sam Raimi, but somewhere I'm thinking it's Sam Raimi. I want to just shake him and ask, do you even interact with other human beings?
I love his first two. Well, I wouldn't say I love the first one. I love Spider-Man 2. I
haven't seen that. I saw 1 and 3.
You didn't see Spider-Man 2 from?
I heard 2 is this big masterpiece. So
2 is so good with Doc Ock and shit, man. It's great.
Wasn't Doc Ock in the first one?
No.
Who was in the first one?
So the first one was fucking what's his name as the Green Goblin.
Okay, yeah, okay. So I'm missing that whole thing. Alfred Molina or whatever, he actually signed on for No Way Home. Oddly enough, and it kind of fuels the rumors that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield may be back to set up to do some sort of live action Spider-Verse thing, Yeah,
which is cool. That would be cool.
Kirsten Dunst also signed on, which, I mean, are they going to have Kirsten Dunst in this thing but not Tobey Maguire?
Yeah, they'll have Tobey Maguire. I mean, it'll probably just be one sequence.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be in the whole movie.
But yeah, the more I look at it, the more I think Tobey Maguire is the worst. Now he was the first, so he had no.
Again, you got to watch part 2 before you make a judgment on Tobey Maguire. But he does make a pretty crappy Spider-Man. He's just really good as Peter Parker.
Okay, and I'll agree that Andrew Garfield is a crappy Peter Parker.
Great Spider-Man, though.
He's too cool for Pete. He's too cool.
Exactly.
To be Peter Parker. He's a little bit too
cocky.
Even when he's being awkward, it's a cool kind of awkward. And by Amazing Spider-Man 2, I mean, he's got that girl wrapped around his finger, and even when she's, even when she's playing hard to get, he's still got her. I mean, that scene on the bridge when he does the "I love you" in web dressing, it's just too smooth for a nerdy Peter Parker to pull off.
Right, which is why I like Tom Holland so much, is I think he's such a perfect blend of the two of them,
But
Spider-Man and Peter Parker.
Andrew Garfield,
he owned Spider-Man.
When he realized that he had all these powers, it really came across, and that was probably the director, I forget his name, John or Mark something, but he really captured the absolute fun of realizing you have these powers now. You're in a subway and the pole comes off in your hand and you're knocking people out, not even meaning to. I mean, it's awesome, and he's realizing all these things he can do. He really captured the fun of it more than Tom Holland or Tobey Maguire. Now, and Andrew Garfield even delved into like the hero myth by studying and researching Joseph Campbell. That's how committed he was to getting it right. He just knew his own worth and wanted, more, more stake, more of a stake in things. He wanted more of a final cut on what, which of his scenes would go in, and he wanted, a lot more say. And also he did not show up for one of those big schmooze fests, like publicity press things, Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening. I was trying to shift the camera a little bit to blow up the artwork.
Yes. We gotta make that front and center. I'm sorry.
No, it's nothing you did. I just looked up and realized, like, hey, why not make that artwork a little bigger?
Yeah. That's why we're here. So
I think that well, not really. We're just here to hang out. I draw all the time. This ain't cool to anybody anymore. This is just what I'm doing. I could be sitting here drinking coffee, but I don't drink coffee. I draw comics.
See, that seems like a cool superpower to have too.
What's that?
Drawing.
Yeah, it's tell you what, man, the better you get at it, the more fun it gets.
I get that it's all shapes and that anybody could do it if they applied their mind to it, but I still feel like I would mess up something critical along the way, and I would not have the discipline to start over from scratch, So
most people don't have discipline to do much of anything, so it's having discipline to do anything in life is kind of a trick. You got to trick yourself into doing things that suck. Discipline is just doing things that suck and trying to trick yourself into thinking they don't suck.
I seem to get by all right just hitting record and going for 6 hours. Things just kind of happen and develop on their own. It's great.
That's how I feel about drawing.
There you go.
Things just happen on their own. I sit down with this pen and I start scribbling, and things just happen.
Yeah.
In fact, the better I get at this, and again, I don't consider myself good, but the better I get at it, I'll sit and look at something and just be like, God damn, that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool fucking face, or, oh man, those are pretty cool hands. Those aren't particularly good hands.
I liked the Christmas thing you did. What was that called?
Rocco and Sarsarilla's Sickmas Time story.
It was great. All the great one-liners have escaped me, but there was something about a ninja and some like Santa toy sack that people would get lost in, or and there was a lot of raping Santa Claus.
Yeah, well, there's a big twist at the end. I won't spoil for people that haven't read it, but yes,
I remember it. Yeah,
ostensibly it's a Santa Claus rape story, but it's more than that. there's a point to it if you get all the way through the story. I actually had somebody tell me, like, I really like the art, but I really don't like what it's about. And I was like, well, did you finish reading it? He was like, no, I couldn't get through it. I was like, well,
I bet it was Zach. It was Zach.
No, it wasn't Zach.
Okay.
I was like, well, then you didn't get the point of it. Like, you didn't understand what I was getting at. And it wasn't to rape Santa Claus for 30 pages.
Yeah,
Even though Santa Claus gets raped for 30 pages.
Don't lie. You wanted to see Santa get raped.
I mean, it's my sense of humor. It's like, how can I rape Santa for 30 pages and then excuse that away, then make that all somehow make some kind of moral sense at the end of all of it. That's the trick. That's the trick. That's the beauty of storytelling.
To get away with all that and still have a moral lesson tacked on, Yeah,
that's the trick.
Did you answer Mando Artisan's last question? Do we need
I did, yeah.
Okay.
What I find most difficult about an art project, that's when I said that the most difficult thing is to make that vision as close to the original idea as possible.
What did you just do? Did you white out?
Yeah, I just erased one of the. In fact, I think I'm going to do both because it
didn't look like you had the eraser tip, so it must have been a whiteout, right?
No, this is a digital pen.
A digital pen?
What is that? I'm working on an iPad, man.
What is it? What?
It's a electronic pen. There's no eraser. There's no whiteout.
How did you do it then? Is there a button? What?
Yeah. I tap it. I tap the pen twice, and it switches over to the eraser tool, and I can erase things out. And I tap it twice, and it goes back to the pen tool, and I can put things back in.
Dude,
it's just digital technology, man.
I still have a flip phone. I mean,
it's just what the iPad does, and what the computer program does. I'm using a program called Clip Studio. It's kind of like a Photoshop-esque program, but it's for comic book artists.
Wow. I can't believe it's almost midnight already. Jesus.
Is it? It's 11 for me, but you're an hour ahead.
Well, I mean, I don't have anywhere to be. I'm kind of stuck at home for the next at least week or two. So,
are you not working anymore?
No. Well, I am, but I had to take a break to care for that. I mean, there's no way around it. They're only going to come out for 30 minutes to do physical therapy.
Right.
He refused rehab, so I'm fucked. I mean, I
don't know how much you want to talk about this on an actual broadcast, but
not too much.
There are things you can do with the state that will actually pay you to be his caretaker. Are you familiar with that stuff? It's a lot of bureaucratic paperwork, but you can sign on as his home health care yourself and get paid by the state to be home with dad and not have to worry about going back to work. You'll have to look into that. Again, we don't have to talk about it on the air, but
no, right. But where do I start? Can you tell me? Do you know that?
You would start with your state, like your state, whatever office like handles welfare and stuff like that. They'll handle the medical, whatever handles the state medical insurance and stuff. That's where you would go to apply, or even call them and tell them like, hey, I got to stay home with my dad. There's nobody else to do it, and I want to be his home care, because my and I don't like to talk too much about my personal stuff either, but my aunt is doing that for my grandparents. She's their home care person. She actually gets paid for that. So I know from family experience that it's possible.
I mean, it would be nice to get some kind of, something on my side like that. Yeah.
Just something to think about.
It is definitely, seriously too. What did you just do with the hair to make it all black all of a sudden?
The fill tool. you act like this is all magic. This is just basic, art program.
I mean, I know I've seen that in MS Paint, but I mean, not with a pen, at the tip of a pen.
It's just a glorified stylus. It's just a pen-sized stylus.
At the tip of an actual pen, not like a mouse.
It's not a pen, though. You know what a stylus is, right? Do you use the tap on?
Yeah, but I've never seen it do that before.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't have a laptop, so that could be.
Well, it's not a laptop. It's an iPad.
Oh, well, I don't have that either.
See?
What is what would be the best way to wrap up that Spider-Man and Marvel discussion and Justice League though? What I feel like we were going towards something, deeper to finish that.
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know that we were going towards anything deeper. I would say that I agree with you about the all the problems that the Snyder Cut has, but for some reason, I give Zack Snyder a big old pass when it comes to making his superhero films. And I don't know why, because they're clearly flawed. They're clearly bad. Batman versus Superman is clearly a flawed film.
Watchmen was perfect, if you ask me.
I love Watchmen, and so two of my favorite comic book movies of all time are Watchmen and 300. And Zack Snyder directed both of them. So he's directed two of my favorite comic book movies. So whenever it comes to him doing this weird take on the DC characters, I think a lot of it doesn't work, but enough of it does work that I look at it as like a cult film. Like it's crappy. They're crappy. These are like the cult films of the superhero universe. It's like you want to watch really, really good ones, you're probably going to want to watch Marvel movies. If you want to see some weird ones, watch these Zack Snyder DC movies because they're really weird.
He actually actively pursues the theme that superheroes are like gods, right? Is that?
Yeah. I don't know that he does it well, but yes.
Okay.
I don't know that he gets that. I don't know that he gets that across well as a filmmaker, but that's
I can see Superman and Wonder Woman, but what, even Batman?
I mean, Batman would be like an icon of a god, right? Like he projects the image of a god, but he's actually a man in a suit behind it. So Batman's all about how he makes the psychological fear he puts in the hearts of criminals, right? Not about being an actual superhero.
Yeah, and in the comics, they had Batman and Darkseid have this long rivalry now that's been going for years, and it just feels like that's further than Batman should have ever gone. I think he needs to stay in Gotham instead of going to the cosmos. I think Batman should have never been in the Justice League because the Justice League has to fight a lot of crime in the day, and
I like Batman being at the Hall of Justice and doing the detective stuff. Like he's at the Batcave. He's doing all the analysis. He's finding the bad guys' weaknesses, and he's directing the other Justice League members to go do. He's the tactical brains part. But then you've got Superman. That's the whole thing that's always been odd with me with Justice League. Is Justice League has two leaders. It has Superman and Batman. When Batman is clearly the guy who should be the leader of the Justice League, you've also got this literal god that can lead things just fine himself. Justice League's always been wonky to me. I've never felt like the Justice League is a perfect group. It doesn't mesh the same way the Avengers or X-Men mesh.
Do you think the Avengers have the Avengers always had Captain America and Iron Man in every?
I think they've had all kinds of iterations. Some that have worked better than others, but you're right about that too. Like they have two leaders over in the Avengers also.
I've noticed that a lot of writers like to throw in a villain into Justice League and Avenger teams a lot more now. That they've been a lot more hands-on with that.
Yeah.
Even Lobo and Man-Bat were members of Justice League at some point. Deathstroke, and then Suicide Squad that's what Suicide Squad's all about. That actually makes sense though because they're on parole or probation, right?
Trying to get years off their sentence or whatever.
Yeah, that's actually smart if you ask me. But I think that Marvel is just better at this whole gig, and if
keep those words in your mouth, bro, because it's all about to get real shitty over at Marvel. It's all woke.
I know.
Female centric. Everybody's black and gay.
Yeah, but
that's all hitting the movies. This next wave is going to be all feminism, all woke bullshit.
I don't know about all.
Okay, like I said, keep those words in your mouth. You'll be pie facing yourself over and over again as you're disappointed by the direction Marvel movies go.
The next MCU movie is Black Widow. I always thought she was one of the guys.
Yeah. Okay.
Just being hot, but one of the guys.
It's also set way back before any of those events happened, so it's technically a Phase 3 movie. No matter how long it takes for it to finally come out, it's a Phase 3 movie. All this Phase 4 shit is going to be woke bullshit.
WandaVision sucked dick.
It was so fucking pathetic.
I kept waiting for Mojo to show up. That's
anybody.
That's the only reason I was watching, is to see Mojo show up, because she's in a TV show, basically, is what I got from it. But it just, I wasn't impressed with the whole, oh, it's 80s, so they're going to mimic Full House. Oh, it's this 50s, so they're going to mimic I Love Lucy. I didn't care about that. I just wanted to see Mojo show up and give his reasons for putting her in there. And everyone kept saying Mephisto Nightmare. Mojo is the TV guy. That's like Occam's razor villain right there. I mean, that's the simplest.
He's also an X-Men villain, though.
But Scarlet Witch was an X-Men at one.
Oh yeah, you're right. She's the whole House of M thing, where she fucks with all the X-Men, all their mutant powers. You're right.
But if you're gonna do all that TV stuff, I mean, Mojo, man,
I mean, and Mojo is one of my favorite characters, so you're not gonna get any complaint out of me. Let's see what we got going on here. This is Cockhammer Lives, the graphic novels, my new 152-page full-color graphic novel sequel to my 2009 feature film Cockhammer. We are currently raising money for that on Indiegogo. We are at a big old $930, only $70 shy of our $1,000 goal. And let's run through the stretch goals here real quick. We had a $500 initial goal. We blew past that in just a couple of days. And here's some shots from the comic, censored because Indiegogo. Yeah, the main villain kills Satan, cuts his head off, and steals his powers. We got Nixon and Hogan in there. I censored everything because Indiegogo doesn't like titties and dicks and vaginas. But those are just some process shots from the comic book itself. And then we hit those stretch goals. When we hit $600 in their package, everybody gets a physical copy of the 30-page Rocco and Sarsaparillas Sickness Time story.
And that is good shit. That is funny right there, folks. Yeah. Really fun. Mini
black and white comic there. The second stretch goal was at $700. We did that. Neon Guts. That's another 30-page black and white mini comic. It features the characters Mary Beth and Gertrude from the original Cockhammer film in their own solo adventure. They're cam girls broadcasting their sex show when a peeping Tom looking through their window slips and falls into a vat of toxic waste and turns into a monster and starts trying to kill them. So that's a cool little 30-page romp through Gertrude and Mary Beth's world. The $800 stretch goal, which we've also unlocked, gets you a 4-inch full-color die-cut sticker. This sticker right here, Cockhammer Lives, the graphic novel die-cut sticker. That's being thrown in the bag as well. All that comes free with your Cockhammer Lives graphic novel, by the way. And then we are only $70 shy of this $1,000 stretch goal, which is this big, beautiful 11x17 poster that'll come with all your goodies, with 4 pinup shots all together there on that one poster. Pinup shots from the interior of the comic. And yes, this is demonic Wolfram flying through a butthole, in case you were wondering what that is. That's exactly what that is. And yes, Jeremy, I actually had to Google image search rectum in order to get a realistic look at what the inside of a butthole looks like.
What does it is? I heard it kind of look like corn cob is what I heard.
Well, it looks kind of like what I got back here. A bunch of pale, gross-looking ropey things.
Is that okay? It looks like a puckered thing, is what I heard. Yeah,
well, flying through the butthole. It's not a butthole. It's the anus itself. He's flying through the colon, through the intestine.
So it looks like a nipple with the top down.
Sure. Sure. So we are only $70 shy of that stretch goal. We'll hit that any day now. Any of you fantastic strange heads that jump in and grab that book put us that much closer. I think we're 2, maybe 3 backers away from unlocking that $1,000 stretch goal. Then I'm gonna add another stretch goal at $1,200, and it's this comic that you've seen me working on here tonight, the Nixon and Hogan Hate Comics mini black and white comics. So there's going to be a total of 75 pages of free comics, free black and white comics that come with the full color 152-page Cockhammer graphic novel. That's a huge value. I mean, you get your money's worth when you back Strangeville Indiegogo campaigns. So that's where we're at. That's what we're doing. Jeremy, I appreciate you hanging out, talking comic book movies and shit with me while we did a little stream here. It's nice to catch up with you, buddy. We haven't talked in a while.
Yeah, it was good, and I'd like to do it again this week if you're up for it.
I'm gonna be. Go ahead.
How are you with my current cast of co-hosts? Are you comfortable?
I mean, I hate writers, and I think they're all pretentious douchebags. But
yeah.
Besides that, what about them?
You think you'd be comfortable to come on sometime in the next few weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to promote this Indiegogo, so I'll come on, hang out for a little while. You know, my schedule on Sundays, I'll have to do it after work.
Right. All right. You know my current cast of characters, right?
Not particularly.
Oh, okay.
Who's hanging out these days?
Ben, Gregor, Anne, and Regina.
Okay, I've met all those people. Yeah.
And Zach might be dropping by again every now and then. Now that he's not quite so preachy and he's kind of settled into, he can't change the world. He can just focus on it. I think he might be good to drop in more often again now. Yeah, if it's not too awkward, and you get along with everybody, I mean, or if not, I can accommodate that too. But it'd be cool to catch up on there again.
Sure, we can do that. But like I said, it'll have to be after I get off work, 10 p.m. Central Time.
Are you kind of giving us the wrap up symbol?
Yeah, we're taking off here tonight. We're done tonight.
Okay. Well, it was fun. It was definitely fun, and yeah. I'd be glad to come on again if you need somebody.
Sure. So absolutely, always a good time.
Good job, man. You really hit the ground running with the con circuit, and I can tell you missed the hell out of it.
Yeah, we're going April 9th through the 11th. I'll be in Chicago, and then we've got for Days of the Dead horror convention in Chicago, which I love. Chicago's fan base up there. They're real supportive of indie art of all kinds. I can't wait to take the comics and the card game up there for them to check that out for the first time. And then we're also scheduled for Crypticon Kansas City in July. I don't have the exact dates in front of me. October 1st through the 3rd, I think I'll be in Louisville, Kentucky. How close are you to Louisville, Kentucky? Not close at all?
I think that'd be, I don't know, 3 or 4 hour drive, maybe.
Yeah, 3 hour drive, buddy. Maybe you should come see me.
I'm really not set up for that right now with all going on,
That's true. I mean, it could be a one-day thing. You could be in and out.
That one day could make a difference, though.
That's true.
As far as being detrimental, but
that's true.
I wouldn't rule it out someday.
Well, we're talking about October, so we'll see where we're at in October. I mean, you never know.
Maybe.
You never know what October brings. What October may bring. Then I've got the possibility of a show in November in Tulsa, Oklahoma, but I haven't committed to that one yet. And then that Days of the Dead just announced their normal because all these shows have got pushed because of COVID. So a lot of these shows are double dipping this year. And that Days of the Dead, they announced another Chicago show in November. So I might be doing Days of the Dead twice. And I forgot there's another one in July in Chicago called Flashback Weekend. So I'm all over. I'm all over the place this year as many as I can cram in, I'm doing this year. And,
Now, do you expect at least one of those to get canceled again, though?
oh, who knows? Who knows? I'm moving forward with the assumption that they're all going to happen, and Joe Biden could pull the plug on all of it at any minute. Come on, man, just wear the mask. Just wear the mask, man. Where am I? What am I doing here?
Retard wore.
Come on, man. What am I doing here?
He had 2 masks on one day. This is fucking stupid, man.
You got to put on the masks, man.
This is fucking stupid.
Your patriotic duty.
I don't even wear a mask out now. I didn't when there was a mandate for it. I didn't wear a mask, and nobody ever said a damn thing to me. You know, here in Tennessee, we just kind of live our lives. Sorry, we're not trying to, own the public space.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in a pretty rural small town too, and we don't do a whole lot of masking. Walmart makes you do it. How do your Walmart? Are your Walmart cool with not wearing it?
Walmart does not. No, they offer it. They suggest it rather aggressively, but no.
They won't make you.
No, I said, "Are you going to ask me to leave if I don't?" And she says, "No, I don't have that authority." I said, "Okay, well, great. Well,
I could do that. I could do that, but I guess I'm not as tenacious as you in that regard. I just put it on while I'm in Walmart and then take it off. But that's about the only time I wear them is in Walmart.
When I do have to wear a mask, though, I make sure it's a pretty cool one, though. I know it's lame as hell to show off your masks, but when I do, like at work, this is what I wear.
See, I go the other way. I'm so against I'm against the entire concept. Oh, you got it on upside down?
Yeah.
Hang on, let me get it. Let me get you.
Marvel superheroes.
Hang on. Whoop, hang on. Here it is. There you go. There you go. See, I'm the other way. I'm so against masks that I just have the fucking generic bullshit they give you. That's the only thing I'm ever going to wear. I'm never going to make custom Strangeville masks. I'm never going to wear a custom mask.
I wondered about that. I wondered if you were going to cash in on that.
No, they don't do anything.
Yeah,
they don't do anything. They don't protect people from getting sick.
But it's to reassure the other people.
It's like wearing garlic around your fucking neck.
That.
It's like wearing a cross or wearing garlic around your neck, man. It's fucking superstition.
It's exactly what it is. I'm not here to put your mind at ease that I don't have leprosy or
exactly.
And didn't these same people over in California that are hysterical about COVID, they're the same people that passed a law that people with AIDS don't have to disclose it to their sexual partners
and can't be prosecuted for it.
Yeah.
Can't be prosecuted for knowingly giving their partner AIDS.
So COVID is worse than AIDS.
We're going to end it on that note, Jeremy. COVID is worse than AIDS, and your kitty agrees.
Yeah.
Mic drop. Mic drop from the kitty.
Okay, we'll keep down there.
All right, brother. We're out of here.
Thanks.
Have a good night.